This is what they tell you what American Indians look like. This is what they tell you. People with white admixture, which is not true. I'm going to show you in a second how they look before European exploration. I'm going to show you how they look. See how she looks? They looked it closer to her. And you know who she has proximity with. You know who her ancient relatives are. Her ancient relatives are these people, these people, these people, these people. So it's like, they tell us all the time. They say we're Cherokee, which means Congo. Got the high cheekbones. We got the long wavy hair. Um, they tell us all these things, right? But they always neglect to let us know, like, well, who were the people who were the progenitors to those people? These people right here. What are they doing right now today? What are they doing right now today? What are they doing right now today? They're forcing these people, right, who are the Jarawa, the Sentinelese, the Orange, the Adamanese. They're forcing them to have close proximity with East Indians and also Frenchmen. There's a French report on YouTube, Al Jazeera. Their lifestyle is being interrupted. You see? See how she looks? She looks like someone who can be Ugandan, Kenyan. You see what I mean? This is how they look. I love covering them for a number of reasons, but I really love covering them because this is how I look when I was younger. This is how I looked. I looked at like these kids when I was younger. When I was 9 years old, I had the same build, same hue, had the same hue. You know, they kind of look like my middle nephew. Well, he does. He kind of looks like my middle. He does right here. I think that's a he, or I'm not sure if that's a young lady or a young man. But my nephew looks like this person right here. My middle nephew. My nephew is a little lighter though. He's a little lighter. But they tell us, right? These people are the inheritors of American soil. These are the people. We're not Africans. They tell us these are the people. I just drafted a letter and sent them off to Donald Trump, Judge Kyra Bolden, Supreme Court of Michigan, and the mayor of Detroit, Mary Sheffield, mayor-elect. I just sent them off, basically letting them know I want recognition for who I am. This is who I am right here. This is who I am. This is who I am. Everybody's trying to get back to this lifestyle. Everybody's trying to get back to this lifestyle. Like, you see how they live? They have been in the news because the East Indians, right? They bringing people onto the land and they're destroying their way of life. It's called tourism. They're taking their pigs, slaughtering their pigs, and eating their pigs. You're right, because once you find something out, right, you try to mimic it. These people don't deal with obesity. So what are they doing? They're in their communities, right? Causing them to morph, causing them to change, right? They're giving them deer. These people don't know anything about deer. They don't eat deer. Why are you giving them deer? They've survived all these years eating pig. What do they tell us about the Bible? Oh, the Bible says you're not supposed to eat pig. You're not supposed to eat swine. You think these people know anything about a Bible? They have their way of life and it works. Now, let me go back over here. Speed, he's in Angola. I don't know where he's going next, but he's going to visit a bunch of countries in 29 days. You see where he is right now. I think he's in another country now. I'm not sure where at, but he's probably in another country if he's not in Angola. He knows the language of Angolans. He speaks it to them. What do we know about Speed? He's from Detroit and he's from Columbus, Ohio. His father's from Detroit, right? What else do we know about Speed, right? He's very popular internationally. He started off, he had a dream. He wanted to be a popular streamer. You know? Now, this is what I want to say. Imagine if Speed went over to the Jarawa and he met those people, or he went over to Asia and met the Aida. Do you know how much press will be behind that? And he starts to do a documentary on, like, imagine if someone got behind that and actually did something like that, right? And he just let the world know, like, these people are in danger. Imagine if he did something like that. You see how this is his famous artwork right here. This is his brand. This is his trademark. IShowSpeed. This is trademark. He's in an environment, right? Bunch of trees, right? And he has bucking eyes. He looks wild. So he knows who he is. Speed is no different than these people right here. He's no different than these people. These people are older than Africans. If you look at them closely, they're older than a lot of Africans. Right? You look at them right here, right? They're older than these people right here. They're older than them. Only way I get this complexion, right, is if I live exactly like how they live. Meaning I'm not bathing with soaps and all of that stuff, right? I'm bathing with spices, water, you know, and I let the mud of the dirt attach to my skin over the millennials. Look how he's dressed. He has leaves over his head. But you see, right? These people who frequent all these blocks, you know, they don't want anything to do with the idea of being indigo. That's why they'll tell you, hey, I got the red skin, I got high cheekbones, you know, I passed the copper test. They'll tell you. These people were their mortal enemies. Still to this day, they are. And why is that? Because of lookership. See what he has in his hand? He has a bow and arrow in his hand. He has a bow and arrow in his hand. Now, when I mailed off today, I mailed some letters off today. I mailed them off to Donald Trump, Judge Kyra Bolden, Supreme Court Judge of Michigan, Mayor-elect Mary Sheffield. And I told all three of them, I need recognition. I gave them my map out with the genetics. Listen, this is who I am. I come from Aztec civilization. I come from Olmec civilization. I come from American Indian civilization. I come from African civilization. I need you all to recognize me. I don't care about being a part of a tribe. I come before tribes. When everybody on the earth was one. You see what I'm saying? I come before tribes and nations. I was on earth when everybody was going from one coast to the other coast. There's people who look like me in oceanic regions. There's people who look like me in inland regions. There's people who look like me in Arctic regions. You see? But I'm not going to let you forget who these people are right here. I'm not going to let you forget. The Jarawa. I can't let y'all forget who they are, man. And I hope one day Speed, he touches on this subject and he does a special on them, like a documentary or something. Because, you know, these are the last of us right here on Earth plane. These are the last of us. When they talk about the Sudanese and how they are the avatar, these people are the avatar right here, because they're the people who live like that to this day. That depiction, they live on a circle of water. Sudanese don't live on a circle of water. The Jawa live on a circle of water, and they've been being attacked before the Sudanese were being attacked. It's just factual. So remember, she may be Choctaw, right? This lady right here, this dark skinned lady, she may be Choctaw, right? We all may be Choctaw, right? In fact, we are, right? But this is the thing. Did she intend for the nation become what it did become today? Did she intend for the nation of Choctaw to become what it is today? Did she intend for it to be that way? This lady looks like my mother. She looks like my second great grandmother. And I know we're relatives because we're both from Mississippi. But again, they tell you the Indians today, right? They're doing this right now. They're trying to tell you that the Indians are light skinned people with pressed hair, milky skin. That's what they're trying to tell you right now. But they're not telling you these people really live like this. Bow and arrow. Centuries, for centuries. No food stamps. No housing vouchers. No American skilled trade where they're building homes. They live in the wild with bow and arrows. No lottery ticket. No McDonald eating. You see what I mean? So we gotta really unwind and see like who we really are and who we owe homage to. Because we all owe homage to these people right here for keeping the tradition alive. It's just wild to me, like how people just they go so far as to say they're not African, but at the same time they try to say they are those people or they were there before those people. And it's like, how are you there before people who look like this? These people look like the sky at night. And then you look at the people who saying all these things, like you don't really look like the environment. You don't look like the sky at night, and you really don't look like the sky or the ground, I should say, the ground in the morning. You don't look like the ground in the morning. So that's all I want to say, man. Speed, what you're doing, I'm glad that you're doing it, and I'm glad that you're bringing a lot of eyes to the city of Detroit, because Detroit has been getting a lot of investments lately. They got a $3 billion budget or something like that. That's I don't even know if that's good or bad, really, to be honest with you, given the fact that we really don't have numbers on um the populace. But they're pushing it over, saying, no, $3,000 budget, that's pretty good for a small city, right? So they got a $3 billion budget, right? And they have investments coming in the corridors downtown, where they're building affordable housing, and they're also scheduled to have a WNBA team in 2029. So Speed, what he's doing is very instrumental in seeing a lot of this stuff happen. Because you got to remember, he's from Ohio, so he knows he has pretty good relationship with LeBron James and Kevin Durant. He has a pretty good relationship with them. So what he's doing is pretty awesome from what I can see. You know, because what he's going to do for Detroit in the long run, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. Um, but again, you got to remember, Speed, he fits the prototype of these people right here. He fits the prototype of these people. He's an Indian. He's a Moor. He's someone who's in tropical environments, and he lives off of skill. He lives off of trade. He lives off of simple reciprocity. Do for me and I do for you. Think about it. How could someone of his level of popularity could gain so much supportership in just so many short years? Because he had the right staff behind him. He had the right timing. He was on the internet, you know, and they put him on people's platforms. He was able to gain a following organically. The kids love him. My nephews love him. My youngest nephews, they love him. But when I try to tell people about these people right here, they don't get it yet. They do not get it yet. They do not get the fact. They just think these people are just regular people. These people really live like this. So right now I'm doing my 30-day water fast, my 30-day juice fast. I'm on my second day. So I'm probably going to be on TikTok a lot and YouTube a lot, trying to find information to support my spiritualness, my spirituality, to try to get one with God. You know, because every time you see your reflection, right, or you get an idea, you see that word, you know, it motivates you, you know. When you see these people right here, it motivates you. You see him and he's got that bow and that arrow, it motivates you. Great peace, Yakoki.